When what you really want is the comfort of certainty, see that as life's way of saying you need more clarity. Hello, 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 and welcome to More Than Money, a podcast where we have nuanced conversations about money, business, and life, where we take the time to explore the human side of money, because success with money is never just about the numbers. I'm your host, Jacquette Timmons, and I'm really glad you are here with me today. Well, it is officially spring. And if you are in the mood to spruce up your home with some spring cleaning, might it also be time to do a little bit of spring cleaning for your finances too? Well, if you said yes, then let's chat, because the first 3 months of the year can be a really good indication of how the rest of the year will go as you work toward what it is that you want. Or it can give you clues of what adjustments are needed as you work toward what you want. Either way, maybe I can give you a few ideas of what to continue doing or what to do differently, whether that's how you think about money, behave with it, or talk about it with those in your inner circle. The call is complimentary. You can tell me what's going on. I can tell you what I am hearing and let you know if I see any opportunities that you might be overlooking. And if we decide to work together and we decide that that makes sense, well, then we can talk about what those next steps look like. Just so you know, I only onboard 3 new coaching clients each month. So send me a DM on Instagram, say discovery call, and we will get you a link to schedule a time to chat if that's of interest to you. But in the meantime, let's get into today's show. Recently, I had a very frustrating experience with my healthcare insurance provider, further confirming the notion that while I love my doctors, the care part when it comes to insurance is a name only. And given the amount of money of my monthly premiums, this really pisses me off. And right now, I am angry, and I'm even more angry about the fact that I don't have any recourse that's available to me. And I do indeed feel somewhat powerless. And I am wondering, am I missing out on something better? In the midst of those feelings, though, I do have a plan. Because in July, when I get the annual notice of the proposed premium rate change, which is a requirement of New York insurance law, I will start gathering information about the other insurance plans that my key doctors intend to accept in 2024. In addition to that, I will create a spreadsheet, which comes as no surprise to anyone that knows me, but I will create a spreadsheet so that I can visually compare the coverage and the proposed premiums of all of those different plans. I was sharing both my annoyance about this situation and my plan that I've just shared with you with someone. And I started chuckling to myself as I caught myself hearing myself speak, because I realized, I am responding to this situation in a very typical pattern. It's a way that I approach, well, almost everything. And let me pause here for a second. I've just shared with you a frustration that I have, a challenge that I am contending with. But what challenge, frustration, or question are you dealing with right now? And what do you notice about the approach you are taking to address it compared to how you have approached other challenges, frustrations, or questions you've had? While you ponder on that, I'll get back to my story. I am a visual thinker. I think best on paper by writing. So thank goodness for the remarkable tablet. And creating a mind map is my go-to key tool for doing this. It helps me to tap into both my methodical and creative sides. It's how I brainstorm and get out of my head, out on paper so I can see it. It is how I get clear about what the real frustration, challenge, or problem is, the thing that's beneath the surface, not just what you initially see or react to. And it's also how I notice patterns and how I'm able to capture as many options that I can think of and to think about, well, what are the trade-offs of whatever decision I am pondering? And there are two quotes that you will often hear when it comes to the commentary about the performance of the stock market. And they happen to apply to all aspects of money, business, and life. One is this: past performance is not an indication of future performance. Now, I happen to think that this one is wise because not all results are directly tied to a specific choice of yours. Plus, variables change all the time. The second is the markets hate uncertainty. Now, this one I always laugh at. I find this one comical because nothing in life is certain. In a world made up of imperfect, emotional human beings and imperfect information sometimes, wanting certainty is a really tall order. Yet, it is often what you and I crave when it comes to our decisions and choices. We want to know that what we are doing is correct. We want to know, will the red pill or the blue pill lead us to what we want? From my personal experience and my professional observations, I am convinced that the desire for certainty is what can lead you and me to feel stress, confusion, indecisiveness, be inflexible, and have a false sense of security. Particularly when it comes to weighty matters, I, as much as the next person, really don't like hearing responses like, who knows, and, or, it depends. These are so incredibly unsatisfying, even if they are the most honest answers that someone can give us at times. Because, we humans, we have a tendency to reject the truth when what it is that we want is comfort. Maybe you use a different tool or method than I do to help you process and make decisions and choices. Personally, I find a mind map and sometimes a spreadsheet really extremely useful. With my insurance situation, my process of my mind map and my spreadsheet, that's going to help me to identify and as well eliminate some alternatives. This way, I can either switch providers at the time, at the time of the year when we can do those kinds of things, or I can make peace with what it is that I don't like about the one that I have. I also have a timeline. While I can't do anything at the time of this recording to resolve my frustration, well, except, fuss about it, I can get the process started in a few months. So that's on my horizon. I know I can eventually tackle it. And I'm also clear. I'm clear about what I want. I want to keep my present doctors and I want my premiums to be within a particular range. These are my non-negotiables. So in this situation, these are the things that matter most to me. So back to the challenge, frustration, or question you are dealing with right now. To what degree is your capacity to focus and to make your next move being diminished because you were looking to increase the certainty that it is the right next move to make? Have you sussed out alternatives? Do you have a timeline? What are your non-negotiables? Well, would it help if I suggested that if you're going to seek certainty, don't seek it for the result that you want, because that's something you can't always control. Instead, look for that certainty in your process, which is something that you do have agency over. When I find myself seeking the comfort of certainty, I remind myself that certainty is about the result, while clarity, on the other hand, is about the process and the result. Clarity requires focus so that you can identify your alternatives, your timeline, and your non-negotiables. Clarity requires you to listen, observe, and reflect so that you can be on the lookout for answers from unexpected sources answers that actually may expand your perspective or ideas around what's possible. Clarity also requires embracing the role of acceptance when it comes to clarity. And this is what I mean by that. Making peace with things as they are right now, rather than wishing that they were different right now. In short, when what you really want is the comfort of certainty, see that as life's way of saying you need more clarity. Well, that is it for today's folks. That is it for today, folks, is what I'm trying to say. As always, thank you for listening all the way until the end, or watching if you are joining us on YouTube. Thank you for doing that. And before you hop and go on to your next thing, if today's episode sparked an aha or reflection, I'd love to hear more. So please send me a DM on Instagram. And again, if you'd like to work together or explore working together in my private business and financial coaching practice, doing some spring financial cleaning, well, then send me a DM on Instagram. I'd love to explore and see if there is a right fit there. But once more, thank you again for listening today. If you'd like to show appreciation for this podcast, or maybe even this particular episode, please share it so that we can reach more people. And if you happen to be listening on Apple Podcasts, please take a moment to leave a rating and a review. It's how we can stay ranked well. And also, we do read them. And if you are on YouTube, please comment below. And if you'd like to buy me a coffee, here's how you can do that. buymeacoffee.com/Jacquette, buymeacoffee.com/Jacquette. I'll be back with another episode. I hope you will too. Until then, remember, it's about more than money.